Yes.
All right, we're going to bring in Alabama Senator Katie Britt, who delivered a GOP rebuttal to Biden's State of the Union address. And, well, she didn't hold back.
Saw was the performance of a permanent politician who has actually been in office for longer than I've been alive. The American dream has turned into a nightmare for so many families. Just think about Laken Riley. President Biden finally said her name, but he refused to take responsibility for his own actions. President Biden proudly proclaims that Bidenomics is working. Goodness, y'all, bless his heart.
That was a little of Katie Britt's rebuttal last night. The Alabama senator joins us right now for a Fox and Friends exclusive. Senator, thanks so much for the quick turnaround. Appreciate it. Great job in your delivery, the structure of the speech, especially because you had to adjust at the last minute to what the president would say, along with the changing dynamics in the chamber. Your thoughts about his speech and the reflecting on yours?
You know, it's exactly what we thought it would be, and that's that he didn't talk about things that real Americans wanted to hear, that hardworking people wanted answers to, things that we talk about around this kitchen table every single day. He failed to mention or failed to give the time they deserved. I thought the anger and bitterness, what seemed to be some type of rage, was unbecoming of the President of the United States, and unfortunately, he used none of his time to bring America together and tell us how we could move forward. Instead, he used divisive language and tried to put every party firmly in their corner.
You know, Senator, I enjoyed you telling, as a man from Texas, telling the president, bless your heart. We all know what that means in the South. But what do you think the party goes from here? Because so long they have painted Donald Trump as the ultimate divisive figure. But now you got the President of the United States that did not extend an olive branch to your party or the Republicans and the American people. So what is the path forward for Republicans?
Well, obviously, President Biden is not interested in bringing people together, and he's also not interested in creating real solutions. I mean, what we saw last night, I think, is just more and more of the same. And that's why we talked about things that matter. I mean, President Trump left us with the most secure border that we have ever had in our country. And then we walked through last night in my response the things that President Biden has done to actually undo that. You know, he sits back and says that none of this is his fault. Guys, it absolutely is. In the first 100 days, he had 94 executive actions that he took to undo President Trump's policies. He came in, he halted deportations. He said, we will not be continuing the construction of the border wall. I mean, thing after thing. He said, we're going to give amnesty to millions of illegal migrants that are here in this country. And what that does is that serves as a magnet to bring more and more people there. And the truth is the American people are paying the price. We are seeing it from every corner of this country. We are seeing it in the devastating tragedy that we are talking about today with Laken Riley and the loss of her life. I can't imagine as a parent the things that they are going through. You think about the parents whose children have died of fentanyl poisoning. Enough is enough. And the president needs to assume responsibility. He knows how to do this. President Trump laid out a roadmap of how to secure our border and make our country safer, but he refuses to do so.
Yeah, you talked a lot about the economy. I wish we had seen more focus on that last night. You talked about working at your dad's hardware store and your mom's dance studio. You know, 60% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. And he talked about Snickers bars before he even talked about the border. He also was rebuking the Alabama court over IVF and the High Court, the Supreme Court, over Roe v. Wade. Listen to this.
History is watching another assault on freedom. Joining us tonight is Latoya Beasley, a social worker from Birmingham, Alabama. She scheduled treatments to have that second child, but the Alabama Supreme Court shut down IVF treatments across the state. My predecessor came to office determined to see Roe v. Wade overturned. He's the reason it was overturned, and he brags about it. Look at the chaos that has resulted.
What's your response?
Well, first, let's talk about the economy real quick. Yesterday, when I had gone to the grocery store and actually picked up my children from school, I thought, he doesn't get this. He's not sitting in these carpool lines. He's not checking out at the grocery store, seeing the prices go up. He's not pumping gas and seeing that go through the roof. So he just doesn't understand what real families are dealing with. And with regards to IVF, see, the uncomfortable truth here is that the Alabama legislature has acted. They have acted to protect
Quickly,
IVF.
too.
And Governor, yes, absolutely, very quickly. And then Governor Ivey, I think that paper was not even on her desk 3 seconds before she signed it into law. That legislation was signed into law. So they acted because they know, we know, President Trump knows that IVF is pro-life and pro-family. And they made sure to protect that for moms and dads all across our state. But obviously, he didn't expect Alabama to act so quickly and so firmly. And likely they didn't have time to rearrange his speech, because that may have messed him up just a little bit.
Senator, before last night, you were probably most known for being exceptionally young for the body that you're serving in. Mitch McConnell just announced that he's going to step down as majority leader. And I know a lot of Americans that look at like the Freedom Caucus in the House and they say, man, the Senate always folds. We get into these budget battles. We get in the government shutdown, and the Republicans in the Senate go astray. We see that 2 or 3 Johns are going to put their name in the hat. It looks kind of like more of an heir apparent than a changing of the guard. Where's the young energy? Where is the energy for something different? Where's the energy that's in the House? Does that exist in the Senate at all? And will that have a say in this race?
Oh, it absolutely exists in the Senate. I am really proud of my freshman class. We get together, often, frequently, to talk about these things, to talk about where we want to see the party go, where we want to see the Senate go, and what we need to be doing for the American people. And one of the things that you just alluded to is actually doing our job. I am so sick. It has been over 7 months. We finished all of the appropriations work there in the Senate. Yes, Susan Collins and Patty Murray came together, and we finished that at the end of July from our full committee. But yet Chuck Schumer did nothing to actually move those bills across the floor. We had one attempt, and then everything else. It's been about over 100 days before he put one appropriations bill on the floor. And y'all, we are seeing stuff like that, and we're frustrated, because when we don't do our job in the United States Senate, in the United States Congress, the American people pay the price. So you think about how far we are into this fiscal year with absolutely no funding being allocated. It's irresponsible, and we must do better.
Right.
So we want to see a leader that's going to get us back to doing our job, and we'll be asking tough questions and seeing who can rise to the occasion.
Yeah, Senator, the problem is he wants an omnibus, so he did his job, Senator Schumer, which is bad for the country. But you understand, and I know you know this, without Senator Sinema and without Senator Manchin, if you guys are not in the majority, that filibuster is gone. And with a Democratic president, you might not even recognize this country.
You're absolutely right. And I think there's a lot at stake in this election. And I think that's why we need everyone doing everything. We must not just hold the House, but we've got to take the Senate. And we are poised to do that because we are right on the issues. We are moving forward in those ways. But taking the Senate back is going to allow us to protect America. And then obviously, we're going to get President Trump in the White House.
Roger that. Senator, thanks so much for getting up this morning.
You.
Congratulations on giving the response yesterday.
Thank you all.
Yeah.
You got it.
I mean, you had no idea.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, you got
Appreciate
it. You had no idea the pressure that was on her shoulders. She's like, oh, I'm in the kitchen now. The kids are in bed. I have a speech to give to the country. It seems so natural.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.